Captain Vance. Thanks to all of you for being here. I have to say I'm a bit overwhelmed. Many of you know of our son Daniel. He was a Marine, deployed to Iraq in the early stages of the war. He fought heavy combat in both the major battles for Fallujah. Daniel was honorably discharged in 2006, but the silent hidden wounds of war had followed him home. PTSD dogged him with nightmares, depression, and despondency. He slid into a dark despair. His life juices slowly just drained away. Less than a year after he came back, at 24, Daniel was lost to suicide. During the last few months of Daniel's life, we talked into the wee hours many times. I could hear Daniel voicing 5 different needs and problems. Perhaps unconsciously, he spoke in terms of we, as his heart carried his combat buddies and needs that they all shared together as one man. Those 5 needs became the 5 foundation stones of Coffee Bunker and our existence, our outreach. And those stones were, those blocks were connection, honor, support, resources, and renewal. What I see is the most basic, the most fundamental block, the primal, what I call the primal screen block, is so foundational to Coffee Bunker, is connection. In those wee words of Daniel, he would say, we don't have a place to go. People don't get it. They can't relate to where we've been. We don't have a place in Tulsa to connect with each other. A lack of connection leads to isolation. Isolation is disconnection, which leads to an imbalance of the person, leads to a depression, leads to discouragement and despair. A lack of connection also, all too often, leads to the tragic end of a broken heart and life. In his book, Silent Grief, Christopher Lucas writes that suicide is the result of pain that has become greater than one's inner resources to be able to cope. So Coffee Bunker is all about helping veterans and their families to find the resources for coping. Foundational to everything we do is providing a place to go. The Coffee Bunker is a place to go. It's a place where men and women find connection with fellow veterans whose boots have been in the same place, who get it. And they find connection too with community volunteers who care. We're building bridges of understanding to help veterans find their way back into the community, back home. Connection gives our veterans support, resources, and renewal. Acceptance, listening, love, and compassion are soil for the seeds of hope and healing. At Coffee Bunker, we hear so often veterans say, Coffee Bunker is home for me. Coffee Bunker has become my family. Many times over the last 2 years, we've heard the words, Coffee Bunker saved my life. I was at my very end and couldn't go on when I came to Coffee Bunker, found the bunker. You know, I'll always wonder if Coffee Bunker had been here yesterday, would Daniel still be here today? I'm really honored to be here tonight and by this recognition as we celebrate our 10th anniversary. I only wish that so many others were standing right here beside me because they deserve the same recognition, the same honor. I was simply entrusted by God with a story to tell. a tragedy that grew to a vision for helping other veterans, their families, their friends, their brothers and sisters in arms, so that they didn't have to face the same sorrow and devastation that suicide brings. But restoring the vision don't at all mean that I knew what to do or how to do it. So without others picking up the ball and running it with their expertise, their dedication, their sheer hard work, their mentoring, and their boatloads of encouragement, Coffee Bunker would never have seen the light of day. I'm especially grateful to the Community Service Council of Tulsa. I'm grateful to the Veterans Initiative. They're the ones who banded together to help get Coffee Bunker off the ground. They banded together as awesome friends to bring the Coffee Bunker to reality and to welcome into the team a new girl who all she did was bring a ball and they played it. Thank you to all, including our generous donors, our board, our staff, and I'd say especially to those unpaid volunteers who work so hard. All have worked so hard to bring Coffee Bunker, to make it into that place, a safe place to go. There are no words to thank all those precious veterans, so many, who challenged me to go higher in my personal life and my growth in life and soul, because it's their lives and souls who have shared with me something that I've not yet attained as a person. I'm deeply grateful to the Oklahoma Military Hall of Fame, to General Dollar as its founder. I'm grateful for the true heroes of uncommon valor who've given this organization a reason to even exist. I want to thank my cousin Gary, Captain Vance, in behalf of all the heroes that have been inducted. Their courage and their own finding their way home gives me courage to continue homeward bound. And finally, and most of all, I want to just lift my heart and my gratitude to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who brings such beauty out of the ashes. Thank you.
You know, I'm so proud of her and the calls that she's done. You know, out of the tragedy that was